Somebody once said we live in the turbulent teens, the 2010s. And are they more turbulent than in 1939 or in 1815? Probably not. But they are more turbulent certainly than 1986 for many people living in Finland and Sweden, which means that we are now looking for new lenses with which to understand the narrative. And also, as anybody knows, when old models of doing things start to crack or crumble, it's a wonderful opportunity for new businesses and to find new business ideas, business models, business recipes. I think that's what people are now Googling around for new business recipes, which means that the need for people like me and other trend spotters is great right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's gone in 10 years and you will be interviewing somebody else here. And I will be on a bench somewhere thinking about what to do next. In Silicon Valley, they have a proverb. You should give your users one of three things: money, sex, or fame. And that to me is always the basis of finding fortune, is to give people one of these three things. A Kauppalehti, obviously, it's quite obvious what they give their users. In other cases, there are other providers. Coming from a small, still quite sheltered company like Sweden, I'd say the easiest way in Sweden to become a millionaire in euros even is to go to California, see what's going on, and then just rip off and duplicate that model. It still works surprisingly well, in that Sweden is small, protected by a language barrier, not particularly interested for the big behemoths like Walmart or Time Warner to get into. Take something that works on a bigger market and apply it to the smaller. That to me, but you said a mega idea that would make me a billionaire, and I suppose you also want me to stay somewhat on the legal side, because there are plenty of opportunities in the darker side of humanity. I would argue that somebody once said, become the air, right? Become the thing that people use all the time but don't necessarily think about. Become the air, and I would try to think about that. To be the platform behind the scenes that everybody uses, everybody needs, and could be something small. And what I wouldn't do is try to create an app. In that, I read somewhere that the development costs of a new app is about $35,000. Average income per year of an app, $600, which means that you have a payback period right now of 51 years, assuming apps still matter in 2060. Probability of that, near zero. The trends that I tend to track right now is one is what I call impulse entrepreneurship. We used to think of an entrepreneur as somebody with a vision, a long-term plan. But now, of course, with connected devices, people can come up with an idea and start selling it. The best example is the volcanic ash cloud. People were stuck in airports around Europe, starting companies with names like "Are you in Milan?" and "Do you need a bus?" That had no business model after 10 days. But for 10 days it mattered. That was impulse entrepreneurship. Quick, swift insights, being able to capitalize on the here and now. Second thing that I am very interested in is the whole development of what we call millisecond markets. In the stock market has been algorithm driven now for a few years. That's a millisecond market. But we see that happening in many other places in the area of likeonomics. What do people like and reflate to and retweet? I mean, it happens in milliseconds, not minutes or days or years. It happens so quickly. It happens quicker than the human brain can think. And to monitor that and think about it and millisecond trends, that to me is very interesting. Thirdly, the opportunities of the analog world. I think we are underestimating the power of the analog world. Meeting in restaurants, face-to-face meetings in favor of digitalization in the coming decade. It's a hope, a thought, and perhaps a dream.